basically do a voiceover, and I'm going to talk about the Democrat debate. So, Cory Booker calls out Joe Biden when it comes to his criminal justice plans. Here's the video.
Former Vice President Joe Biden.
Almost jogging onto the stage, this man had so much to prove. Last time round, California's Kamala Harris hurt him on race issues, and he knew it.
Go easy on me, kid.
Go easy on me, kid, he said, but the vice president did not go easy on her.
I don't know what math you do earlier with California, but I tell you, that's a lot of money. And to be very blunt and to be very straightforward, you can't beat President Trump with double talk on this plan. So this idea is a bunch of malarkey.
All directed at Harris, but even though he was better prepared, Joe Biden and the Obama years were in everyone's sights.
It looks like one of us has learned the lessons of the past, and one of us hasn't.
And unfortunately, your plan is just too late.
Mr. Vice President, you didn't answer my question.
But this man troubled him the most. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, polling at just 1% compared to Biden's more than 20%, homed in on the frontrunner's record on law and order and its effect on black Americans, a demographic crucial to the Democrats next year.
We have a system right now that's broken. And if you want to compare records, and frankly, I'm shocked that you do, I am happy to do that. Mr. Vice President, there's a saying in my community, you're dipping into the Kool-Aid and you don't even know the flavor. You need to...
Afterwards, even though Biden was deemed to have done enough.
And basically, let me give you a longer clip of it.
Sure, Vice President, Senator Booker called your new criminal justice reform plan, quote, an inadequate solution to what is a raging crisis in our country.
The dude who asks questions always tries to start up fights.
Well, I think he is wrong. I think we should work together. He has a similar plan. I think that we should change the way we look at prisons. Right now, we're in a situation where when someone is convicted of a drug crime, they end up going to jail and to prison. They should be going to rehabilitation. They shouldn't be going to prison. When in prison, they should be learning to read and write and not just sit in there and learn how to be better criminals. And when they get out of prison, they should be in a situation where they have access to everything they would have had before, including Pell Grants for education, including making sure that they're able to have housing, public housing, including they have all the opportunities that were available to them because we want them to become better citizens. That's the essence of what my plan in detail lays out. I'm happy to discuss it more in detail if the senator want to. And so I looked at it anyway. That's what I think my plan. I know what my plan does, and I think it's not dissimilar to what the senator said. We should be working together on getting things done.
Senator Booker, your response?
Well, my response is that this is a crisis in our country because we have treated issues of race and poverty, mental health and addiction with locking people up and not lifting them up. And Mr. Vice President has said that since the 1970s, every major crime bill, major and minor, has had his name on it. And sir, those are your words, not mine.
Yes.
And this is one of those instances where the house was set on fire and you claimed responsibility for those laws. And you can't just now come out with a plan to put out that fire. We have got to have far more bold action on criminal justice reform, like having true marijuana justice, which means that we legalize it on a federal level and reinvest the profits in communities that have been disproportionately targeted by marijuana.
Vice President Biden, I want to give you a chance to respond.
The fact is that the bills that the future president here, that the senator is talking about are bills that were passed years ago, and they were passed overwhelmingly. Since 2007, I, for example, tried to get the crack powder cocaine disparity totally eliminated. In 2007, you became mayor. You had a police department you went out and you hired Rudy Giuliani's guy. You engaged in stop and frisk. You had 75% of those stops reviewed as illegal. You found yourself in a situation where 3 times as many African-American kids were caught in that chain and caught up. The Justice Department came after you for saying you were engaging in behavior that was inappropriate. And then, in fact, and nothing happened the entire time you were mayor.
Thank you, Senator Booker. You want to respond?
Well, first of all, I'm grateful that he endorsed my presidency already, but I'll tell you this. It's no secret that I inherited a police department with massive problems and decades-long challenges. But the head of the ACLU has already said, the head of the New Jersey ACLU, that I put forth national standard setting accountability. Mr. Vice President, I didn't interrupt you. Please show me that respect, sir. We have a system right now that's broken, and if you want to compare records, and frankly, I'm shocked that you do, I am happy to do that. Because all of the problems that he is talking about, that he created, I actually led the bill that got passed into law that reverses the damage that your bills, that you were, frankly, to correct you, Mr. Vice President, you were bragging, calling it the Biden crime bill up till 2015.
Thank you, Senator. Vice President Biden.
Number one, the bill he talks about is a bill that in our administration we passed. We passed that bill that you added onto. That's the bill, in fact, you passed. And the fact of the matter is, secondly, there was nothing done for the entire 8 years he was mayor. There was nothing done to deal with the police department that was corrupt. Why did you announce on the first day a zero tolerance policy of stop and frisk and hire Rudy Giuliani's guy in 2007 when I was trying to get rid of the crack cocaine?
Mr. Vice President, there's a saying in my community, you're dipping into the Kool-Aid and you don't even know the flavor.
True.
You need to come to the city of Newark and see the reforms that we put in place. The New Jersey head of the ACLU has said that I embraced reforms, not just in action, but in deed. Sir, you were trying to shift
Why does
the
Cory's
view
head look bigger
from
than
what
Biden's?
you created. There are people right now in prison for life for drug offenses.
Yes.
Because you stood up and used that tough on crime, phony rhetoric that got a lot of people elected, but destroyed communities like mine. This isn't about the past, sir. This is about the present right now. I believe in redemption.
Senator.
I'm happy you evolved.
I want to bring in
but
Secretary.
you offered no redemption to the people in prison right now.
I want to bring in Secretary Castro. Your response, sir?
You know,
Oh,
I
yes.
agree with Senator Booker that a lot of what Vice President helped author in '94 was a mistake.
True.
And he has flip-flopped on these things, and that's clear. But let me say, when we talk about criminal justice reform, there are a lot of things that we can talk about: sentencing reform, cash bail reform, investing in public defenders, diversion programs. I'm proud that I'm the only candidate that has put forward a police reform plan, because we have a police system that is broken, and we need to fix it. And whether it's the case of someone like Tamir Rice or Michael Brown or Eric Garner, where the Trump Justice Department just decided not to pursue charges, we need to ensure we have a national use of force standard,
We need
and
that.
that we end qualified immunity for police officers so that we can hold them accountable for using excessive
Thank you,
force.
Secretary Castro. I want to bring in Governor Inslee.
Yes, we need him to talk.
Let me suggest that people come out to the state of Washington and see what criminal justice reform looks like.
He did really
Our
good
effort
on
to
this
reduce
debate.
racial disparity. I'm proud that I was the first governor to offer pardons to thousands of people with drug crimes. Now we're
Yes.
vacating more tens of thousands. We've eliminated the death penalty. And importantly, we've done this. When people come
good.
out of the legal system and they've done their responsibility to the citizens, we need to make sure they get a job. We have banned the box so that people can actually get a job when they come out. And I've got to argue with my friend Secretary Castro. We haven't just put forward a plan. We have adopted probably one of the best police accountability measures and train our police officers in de-escalation techniques so we have less violence.
Secretary Castro,
Okay.
Your response to
I
Governor
don't know
Inslee?
about
Well, that
that
it's much
really.
more than that, because what we see, and this was a good example the other day of the Department of Justice not going after Officer Pantaleo, that, Officer Pantaleo used a chokehold that was prohibited by NYPD. He did that for 7 seconds, 11 different times. Eric Garner said that he couldn't breathe. He knew what he was doing, that he was killing Eric Garner, and yet he has not been brought to justice. That police officer should be off the street.
Mayor de Blasio?
Ooh, that's the part.
Why
This is
is
the
that
part
police
they were
officer
protesting.
Still on the force, the one who killed Eric Gardner. Please
Well,
respond.
Let me tell you, I know the Garner family. They've gone through extraordinary pain. They're waiting for
Yes.
justice, and they're going to get justice. There's finally
They need
going to
it.
be justice. I have confidence in
true.
that. In the next 30 days in New York. You know why? Because for the first time, we are not waiting on the federal Justice Department, which told the city of New York that we could not proceed because the Justice Department was pursuing their prosecution. And years went by, and a lot of pain accrued. And in the meantime, what I'm working on is making sure, and I have for 5 years, there will never be another tragedy. There will never be another Eric Garner because we're changing fundamentally how we police.
Thank you, Mayor.
But there's one last point I have to say about the Justice Department. The Vice President, for 2.5 of those years, Mr.
Oh,
Vice
yeah.
President, tell us, what did you do to try and spur on the Justice Department to act in the Garner case?
Thank you, Mayor de Blasio. Vice President Biden, you can respond to that.
We did a lot. Number one, we made sure we reduced the federal prison population by 38,000 people. Number one. Number two, we in fact insisted that we change the rules that police engage in. We provided for body cameras. We made sure that there were a lot of things that were changed in the process. But 38,000 people in the federal system were released under the system. And so the fact is that there's a lot we've done. But here's the deal. The fact is that we're talking about things that occurred a long, long time ago. And now all of a sudden, I find it fascinating. Everybody's talking about how terrible I am on these issues. Barack Obama
True.
knew exactly who I was. He had 10 lawyers do a background check on everything about me on civil rights and civil liberties, and he chose me, and he said it was the best decision he made.
Thank you, Mr.
I'll
Vice
take his
President.
judgment.
I don't know. We don't know.
I speak for just about everyone watching when I say I would trust anyone on the stage much more than I would trust our current president on matters of criminal justice.
True.
We cannot tear each other down. We have to focus on beating Donald Trump in 2020. I want to share a
Okay.
story that a prison
Yes, that's
guard, a
true.
corrections officer in New Hampshire said to me. He said we should pay people to stay out of jail because we spend so much when they're behind bars.
Yes.
Right now, we think we're saving money. We just end up spending the money in much more dark and punitive ways. We should put money directly into people's hands, certainly when they come out of prison, but before they go to prison.
Thank you, Mr. Ian.
Oh, yeah,
I
and
want
help
to bring in
them
Senator
get
Gillibrand.
skills.
You heard earlier Mayor de Blasio respond to Secretary Castro on the question of why the police officer who killed Eric Garner is still on the NYPD.
Oh, yeah.
Was that response adequate? Please respond.
No, he should be fired. He should be fired now.
By the time I'm marrying this,
I sat down with Eric Garner's mother, and I can tell you, when you've lost your son, when he begged for breath,
true.
when you know because you have a video, when you know he
Yes.
said, "I can't breathe," so many times over and over again, when you know he used an illegal chokehold, that person should
True.
be fired. And if I was the mayor, I'd fire him. But as president, I would make sure that we had a full investigation, that the report would be made public, and if I wasn't satisfied, we would have a consent decree.
Sure. But, yeah. It really got political there. But by the time I'm airing this, the one thing, the disclaimer is, Eric Gardner's family now has gotten justice because the Mike Pantaleo, the officer, got fired now. And now I heard A$AP Rocky got released from jail. Yeah, but that would be another video. Yeah, and also Cory Booker got beaten. Oh wait, no, not Cory Booker. I meant Joe Biden got beaten by Cory Booker. As well as countless others like Bill de Blasio and Julio Castro, as well as Gillibrand and Kamala Harris doing it again when she originally got called out by Tulsi, but she goes straight to attacking Biden. I won't show you that clip because that will be for a later video. So, yeah. As well as when Joe Biden reset his campaign, so he would be able to get more approval ratings. So now he wants to legalize marijuana, and Kamala Harris is wishy-washy when it comes to Medicare for all and stuff like that. and as well as our stuff. And now, like, we basically need to see these polls. I think to my thing to my list of 1st to 10th, Michael Bennett was 10th. Because, like, he only had one good line. But who I think got first place was Cory Booker. Some of you might not agree with me, some will. I would have Andrew Yang at 2nd or 3rd, and Tulsi at 2nd or 3rd, and other stuff. Yeah. Now, like, I hope Joe, and also who also failed, were Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, because they both got attacked. So, hope you like this video, subscribe to my channel. Bye guys.